If you grew up in the late 90s, you didn't need no alarm clock. You just needed to hear the sound of broken glass. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon. It wasn't just a wrestling storyline. It was the feud that literally saved WWF from getting smoked by WCW. Turned a bald redneck in jorts and an angry billionaire in a cheap suit into the greatest rivalry of TV history. If this feud doesn't happen, there's a chance we be watching Monday Nitro right now. So let's go back to the days when Monday nights actually meant something and break down how Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon changed everything. I'm Keith, and this is the Nostalgia Zone. Let's talk some attitude. All right, so first you gotta understand how bad it was for the WWF before this. We in 1997. WCW Nitro, they beat Raw every single week in the rating for 83 weeks straight at one point. They got the NWO, they got Hogan, they got everybody. Meanwhile, the WWF is looking rough. Then November of 97 hit. The Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart gets screwed out of the title in real life on pay-per-view, and everybody blamed one man, Vince McMahon. Overnight, the friendly commentator was dead. Now he's Mr. McMahon, the evil, power-hungry boss. And wrestling fans hated him. At the same time, Stone Cold is cooking. He's not Hulk Hogan saying his prayers. He cursing, he flipping people off, and drinking beer. But the spark that lit the fire happened on September 22nd, 1997, on Raw at Madison Square Garden. This is the first time Austin hits Vince with the Stone Cold Stunner. He drops the owner of the company on live TV. That's the moment every kid at home went, yo, did he just hit the boss? Fast forward to January 19th, 1998, the night after Austin wins the Royal Rumble. Vince brings out Mike Tyson. Austin interrupts, gets in Mike Tyson's face. A massive brawl breaks out, and you can see Vince losing his mind, screaming, "You ruined it! You ruined it!" That moment got on ESPN, the news, it was everywhere. And at WrestleMania 14 in March of 98, Austin whipped Shawn Michaels ass and become champ. The problem, this is the last guy Vince McMahon wants as the face of the company. So now you got the perfect villain boss and the perfect anti-hero employee. But what made it legendary was not just the wrestling matches. It was the pure chaos. Let's run through the greatest hits. First up, the hospital. Vince laying up in a hospital bed with a broken ankle. Austin disguises himself as a doctor, attacks Vince, and hits him in the head with a bedpan. The metallic ding sound, iconic. Next is the Zamboni. September 28, 1998 in Detroit. This man didn't walk to the ring. This man drives a hockey Zamboni through the arena, climbs on top of it, and clothesline Vince right there in the ring. Security flying everywhere was absolute madness. Then the cement Corvette. Vince is bragging about his $50,000 Corvette. Austin drive a cement truck through the arena. He found a Corvette, fill it up with wet cement until the windows burst. You know some insurance agent was crying watching that live, like. And finally, the beer truck. March 22nd, 1998. It was the ultimate moment. You got The Rock, Vince, and Shane all in the ring. This man pulls up in a Coors Light truck, climbs on top, and hoses down the entire corporation with beer. Vince is literally swimming in beer. The Rock is slipping everywhere. It was the greatest segment in Raw history. We laughed at the bedpans and the beer trucks, sure, but why do we still remember this 25 years later? It was the boss versus employee. Everybody had a boss that they hated. A boss that told them how to dress or how to act. Stone Cold did what we was all scared to do. He flipped his boss off and stunned him. That was pure fantasy fulfillment. The late 90s was rebellious. You had South Park, Jerry Springer, Eminem, Austin versus McMahon. It fit that vibe perfectly. It wasn't good guy versus bad guy. It was redneck versus billionaire. It felt real. While this feud was happening, Raw started beating WCW in the ratings again. This storyline turned the tides of the Monday Night Wars and helped put WCW out of business just a couple years later. Stone Cold didn't just win the championship, he won the war. But here's the crazy part. While Stone Cold was beating Vince's ass, WCW was on the other channel slowly destroying itself from the inside. If you want the full story on how WCW fumbled the bag and let WWE take over, hit that like button and comment Nitro. I might just break that tragedy down next. I'm Keith, and this is the Nostalgia Zone. And that's the bottom line, cause I said so. Peace!